Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Coach Crawf with friends. This is episode number 35, I believe. And today I'm having a chat into what happens when life is becoming sunshine and rainbows. What happens when you become the man or woman that you set out to become? Like, what happens when life is becoming so great? What do you do then? I don't think that's spoken about enough. I'll have a bit of a chat into some of the shifts and changes that have been happening in a business sense and in my creations and in my mission, in what I'm putting out there into the world, some of the shifts that have been happening in terms of Coach Crawf and Basecamp, and giving you guys an update on that. And hang on to the end, because there's been something bubbling underneath the surface that I'm really excited to be launching in this podcast today. So again, thank you so much for being here. I'll have a bit of a chat into it in the app as well, but yeah, I'm really enjoying these podcasts at the moment, and I really look forward to continuing on the momentum. So much love. Enjoy the podcast episode. Much love.
Vulnerability, it's uncertainty, it's not knowing, but doing it anyway, because it's the brave thing to do.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something.
Wanna be somewhere you wanna see, honestly.
You the coach.
Air in the lungs. Middle of winter. Beautiful day out there. I'm sitting in the studio. I've got my Basecamp mug in my hand with a nice, what do we got today? A Yorkshire, just an English breakfast tea. This mug actually, my client made for me, and it's got the Basecamp logo on it. So very special cup of tea today. I tell you what, my friends, I am sitting into the slowness that this winter is holding for me. And I'm allowing this slowness in life to be there. So today I'm really excited to dive into another episode of the pod. Firstly, before we get started, I wanted to thank you so much for being here. Over the last few weeks, I guess I've taken a bit of time just to reflect on the direction of the podcast, to reflect on a lot of areas of my life, actually. And life's feeling so beautiful right now. It's feeling so beautiful because I think I have done that reflection this year. I've been reflecting on my relationship with social media a lot. I know that I've spoken a bit about that in the podcast. And I've reflected on my relationship with the business as well, and like how I want that to blend into my life. For those who listened to last episode of the podcast, episode 34 with Zachy Boy and Tom, we chatted a bit about this. Chatted about how whatever you do for work, whatever that business is, if it's your 9 to 5, like how it supports your life. And, the people who run their own businesses, it's just as big of a trap, if not bigger, the entrepreneurial 9 to 5. So I'm sitting into this slowness. I'm sipping on my cup of tea. The slow cook's just bubbling away in the background. It's a Tuesday. The incense is on. Nice water. I've just been out and picked some flowers. You might see them around. The studio's got a bit of a refurb. My friends, I am cruising today. So I hope you are too. Before we get stuck in, that reflection on the podcast has been really beautiful as well. I actually, not that I do this too often, but I listened back to a couple of the episodes. And just recently, over the last few weeks, like I've had a few people actually come up to me and say, "Oh, I'm loving the podcast. Like, I'm getting so much value out of it." And then I said to them, "Oh, so you're the one." I like that joke. You're the one who's getting the value. Like, fucking oath. That's mint. And I actually listened back to one that someone sent me and they're like, "Oh, fuck, this is speaking to my soul right now." And I'm like, yeah. The podcast is so in alignment with, I guess, the life that I'm building. Like, to be sitting here on a Tuesday, the middle of winter, with literally fuck all to do today, because that's what I'm creating. Like, it feels good to sit down, have a yarn with myself, and I'm sure that it's hitting you at the right time as well. So again, thank you so much for being here, for listening along. And yeah, I really do trust that it's hitting the ears at the right time because, I've been on this journey for 5 or 6 years now in running my own business and sharing this message, I guess, of connection, of health, of personal evolution, of breath work, of slowing down the nervous system. And throughout that journey, throughout that period of time, there's been so many times where I personally haven't been doing that. I personally haven't been slowing down. I too go through these ebbs and flows in life, and that's just life. But really sitting into the slowness that this winter has to offer. So my invitation to you today is to become aware of the opportunities that you have to slow into your life as well. And I'm not here to say that life has to always be slow. That's not what I'm saying. But right now, one of the biggest problems that I see that we have in the world, other than war and famine that's happening, is in the Western world this chronic state of stress, this chronic state of, I have to do this because. Now, I want to share a story into my day this morning because this is my conditioning too. This is my belief structure too, that in order to be successful, in order to be worthy enough, that I have to get up and do the thing, get up and grind and hustle. There's a time for that. There's a time for that. Sometimes. When it's time to get some energy moving and create some momentum, or maybe you're at the pit and it's time to dig in, then yeah, sure, let's go. But more often than not, I believe there is a belief structure, conditioning over years and years and years that is leading to people feeling as though they need to do this thing, that they need to continue to do more and more, even when they've reached their ceiling, even when they've reached their objectives, even when they've reached their goals, then what? And so this morning was a really beautiful example of that. This morning, the eyes open up, or the mind turns on at about 5 a.m. this morning. And at the moment, I've created Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, where I basically don't have any plans other than what I feel called to do. And so the routine has been to get to the gym nice and early, and get in the sauna, coach my clients, do what's in flow, maybe go for a swim, whatever it's been. And there's been times where discipline is required over the winter to get up and get that done. But this morning, my eyes opened and the mind was racing for whatever reason. It just was. Maybe I watched a bit too much Netflix last night or whatever the reason was. But the mind was racing. Should I go to the gym? Maybe I should go for a walk today. Let's go get a coffee. Let's go sit down and journal. Yeah, bear in mind the gym's about 25 minutes from me. So it's like, do I want to do that today? Yeah, I better. It's part of the routine. I better just go do it. It's a very indecisive mind. So we get up, have a shower, and just about to race out the door, grab a coffee and get to the gym. But there was something that needed to be listened to. So I decided in that moment to slow down. I decided to put on a 15-minute ambient music meditation and I sat down for 15 minutes. The first 5 minutes were absolute torture. The next 5 minutes weren't much better either. Maybe I should just go to the gym down the road. Oh, what are we going to have for dinner tonight? The to-do list, growing and growing. This is what I have to do today. This is the rigid structure and I need to be disciplined. And about the 10-minute mark hit. Silence. Stillness. My true self came in. And it was like, hey, brother, what do you actually want to fucking do today? You don't have to do any of that. What do you actually want to fucking do? Beautiful. True. True. Well, if today was my last day on the planet, what would I actually want to do? That's a game changer. Guys, I've been creating this deeper awareness around the conditioning, around what's actually possible to experience in this life. And I've come to the understanding that there is actually so much that I just thought I had to do. And so anyway, I decided to go for a walk and clear the head. Because you know what? My body actually didn't need to be pushed today. I've been working real hard in the gym. My body actually didn't need to be pushed. And what it actually needed was to slow the mind down. So I got out for a nice, let's call it 8K walk. Grabbed a coffee on the way, just strolled down, nice and cruisy. The adventure of the day was beginning. And it started to rain. Smile comes over the face. The sun's rising. Wow. This was the right decision. I go down to the park. There's a set of monkey bars. Beautiful. Let's do some pull-ups, some dips, get the body moving, get the same sort of energy happening that the gym would have, but I'm outside. I'm immersed in nature. I'm like a kid again, playing on this playground and yeah, starting to feel really fucking good. Strolling back to the car just along the foreshore, waves crashing against the beach. And you know what happens when rain and sun begin to emerge? This beautiful rainbow. Just like strolling through, arms are swaying. Let's go. This rainbow emerges into a double rainbow and it begins to like pulse and become brighter and brighter and more vibrant. And It was in this moment that I just said to myself, I'm like, it is in the small decisions. It's not as though, I would have had the worst day if I got up and went to the gym, but that was already the highlight of my day, and it was already so obvious to me that I'd made, I guess, the right call for myself on that particular day. And it came from listening. It came from listening to myself and understanding what I truly needed. It was this, instead of getting up and instantly being in that reactive mode, I was able to respond to my life. Now, a really cool thought train dropped in. And you guys will know, if you've been following along the podcast for a little while now, how long have I been doing it? Probably, 3 years or so, 2 or 3 years. If you've been following along for a while, like I've shared the lows. Right? I've shared some of like the deepest holes that I've been in on this podcast. But you know what? At the moment, life is fucking beautiful. It's going so well. And I'm really grateful for that. Like, I've got some really beautiful clarity around business. A couple of other updates. My friendship group from school, about 6 years ago, we all started putting in $15 into this account. And for our 30th trip, we're going on a boat on the Mentawai Islands around Indonesia. Like, getting married in January. There's so much beauty to look forward to in my life. And, I'm creating this beautiful momentum in my business, and I feel like I'm creating this beautiful life that's in flow and that's fulfilling, and it feels like it's all coming to fruition. And it has been for a while now. But it's like, well, now it's here. Now it's here. It's like the rainbow was there, and I'll get to the analogy in a minute. But I was strolling down, this beautiful double rainbow starts to emerge, and there was this piece of awareness that I wanted to hang on to that moment. It was like, I want this rainbow just to hang around here, at least for the rest of my walk. And it was like I was attaching to that rainbow as like the right call for the day. I don't really know how to describe that. But I became aware of it, and I was like, this is a really good analogy for my life at the moment. And instead of attaching to this outcome or attaching to how good things are, can I simply be okay with that dark cloud coming? Can I be okay with the rain coming? Can I look at both options, see where I have been in the past, right? See where I've come from, the depths of challenge, struggle in the deepest hole, and now be in this place where the rainbow's emerging. And can I be okay with both and simply allow this rainbow to take whatever form it wants to take? You guys are getting where I'm going now. And so I was okay with it absolutely pissing down on me, and I was okay with it obviously emerging into more vibrancy. So I continue to stroll down and just more so enjoying the symphony of what was happening, enjoying the art piece that I was witnessing. Instead of hanging on to that moment, I was immersed in the moment. This could be dribble, but it could also be profound. I'm not sure. And so anyway, I was almost like, Conor McGregor arms, just like, yeah, let's go. This is a beautiful start to the day. Like, how good. And it was like, all right, how much can I allow this moment to like overtake me? How much can I allow life to be so good right now and be totally okay with either outcome? And obviously what happened was the sun started to shine and the rainbow got brighter and brighter and brighter, and this double rainbow was the biggest one that I've ever seen, and it literally felt as though I was walking underneath this rainbow. It was like into the bloody archways of my Tuesday morning. And with all the beauty that's happening in my world at the moment, it's like, well, what happens when you become the man that you set out to become? What happens when you achieve what you set out to achieve? I think a big piece that we have to consider is this worthiness piece. Like, I think a lot of people, when they achieve what they set out to achieve, it's almost like they push it away and they don't actually allow it to be good. And like, this is a real key for me right now. It's like just sitting back, and if there's more to come, there's more to come. If there's more greatness to come, I'm grateful for it. And I'm sure as life goes on, there'll be more moments of challenge, and that's okay too, because what I've learned is that I would not be the man who I am without the challenge. Like, I have learned so much over the last 4 or 5 years that I've consciously been diving into myself. So much. And it's led me to face myself dead square in the mirror, look dead in my eyes, and it's like, who is the man staring back at me? And guys, to be honest, I got to the start of this year and, a little gurgle. I got to the start of this year and there were some areas in my life that I needed to step up in. When I looked at myself in the mirror, it was like, all right, brother, like, there needs to be some ownership here. And something that I've been thinking a lot about recently is, I guess, the world of healing and the world of this wellness era that we seem to be sitting in at the moment. And, this new age spirituality coming in, and honestly, it seems to be a bit of a show. It seems to be a bit of an act. And I think when you couple that with social media, the way us humans are wired, it's like we're almost, depending on where you grew up, we're wired for validation. And it's a really dangerous concoction when you're posting about your wellness or healing journey on social media and you're getting this like hit back that, yeah, great work. And, I think in a world that desperately needs spiritual connection, I feel as though it's being confused at the moment for an image. It's being confused as people who are on a journey to touch God, on a journey to move out of their bodies. And in what I've seen and what I'm helping people through, it's actually this process of coming back into the body. It's this process of doing the work in the shadows, the work in the shadows of yourself, looking at the areas that you do need to step up in, looking at the areas that, you know what, here's where I can improve. There's a beautiful quote from the GOAT, Ram Dass. He says, the real work that you have to do is in the privacy of your own heart. You know, I've been talking about for a little while my relationship with socials. And, you know, I have been one to really share this journey with others as well. But there's a difference between sharing it for validation and sharing it from a genuine place. Now, I've done both. I've shared from a place of, I want people to see how healed I am, for sure. And I've felt how destructive that is and how that can be. Because the real work, it doesn't need praise. It doesn't need anyone else to see. You'll know. The real work is when your head hits the pillow at night and you know that you've done everything possible to be the man or woman that you've set out to be. You're the only one who truly matters. It's on you. And at the end of the day, no one else can really do the work for you. No one else can eat the meal for you. No one can listen to the music for you. Like, these answers, they need to come from a deep place within. And I just want to share this on social media. This is just me, my experience, but I feel like it'll be a lot of you as well. I have noticed over the last 4 months of really evaluating my relationship with it is how much it takes me away from my flow, how much it takes me away from connection with my partner, how much it takes me away from the presence I have in my mind, how much it actually takes me away from creating more value and creating like more art pieces that I want to create in my business. And it actually takes me so far away from it. So like there's so many people telling us this at the moment, but I genuinely think that in terms of your health, that in terms of your connection to yourself, in terms of your connection with spirit, with the divine, with source, like this is a low hanging fruit that is so hard actually to stop. I'm doing this at the moment. I'm really having to be so conscious about how I use it. And it's just interesting. But I thought I'd share a bit of an update on that as well. Now, with this allowing life to be so good, you know, as I said earlier, I think those of you who've come along for the journey on this podcast will notice and see the evolution that's taking place. But another update that I wanted to share is just this change of, I guess, image that I've been sharing. So the start of this year, I basically launched a new business called Basecamp Breath. And through deep listening to myself, I actually realized that, you know what, bro? You need to own who you are. You need to own the value that you have to share with the world. And so we tore down Basecamp Breath. But yeah, basically I've tore down what I thought Basecamp Breath would be, and I've been fluid in the way that I'm looking at not only myself, but my business. And I'm really excited about this because everything feels really streamlined, and it's allowing more people to get in contact with my deepest offering, the deepest sense of who I am and how I can help people. So yeah, I'm actually really excited because what I've done is Coach Crawf is now my business. It's now everything about what I do is just me. And the offering that I'm really excited to be launching to you guys as of right now is Basecamp. Basecamp is the offering. Basecamp is basically what I'm sharing with people now, and it's a 6-month journey into themselves. It's a 6-month journey to create clarity and cohesion in mind and body. This is what I'm talking about in terms of listening to myself and the ability to create that presence this morning, and then understanding what my body needs. So creating that mind-body clarity and coherence. And we move into like X factor convergence. And it's like, who am I truly? Who am I truly? What do I want? And what are my unique gifts? You guys have heard this a little bit before. What is my X factor? What is that sense that I'm the only one that can share this with the world the way that I do? That's your X factor. And it's about understanding what that is so you can share it with people. You know, then there's like the deep healing work. And this is what I'm talking about before. It's looking yourself dead in the eyes, understanding your beliefs, understanding the narratives, understanding the stories that have led you to the person who you are now, and understanding, well, is that serving me now and for the future? And if it's not, let's get conscious around how we create the version of you in the future. And, you know, it runs so deep, but it's going into past traumas and getting back into the body and creating this like almost cellular transformation of your nervous system and really coming to this place of slowness and this place of presence. You know, once we've done that, once we've worked with the mind and body, once we've understood who you are, what you truly want, and understood what's got you to the place that you are now and your beliefs, the stories, the narratives, you know, then we can really start to create the future and do that consciously and in a way that's aligned with how you truly want to live your life. And this is where the power is, guys, because a lot of people haven't yet taken the opportunity to sit back and ask themselves these questions. And when you do, it doesn't take much. I mean, I say that from a place now where I understand it. But I mean, the reality is it does take a lot. You know, it takes a lot of attention, a lot of focus, a lot of energy. It takes a lot of uncertainty, a lot of shifting, a lot of changing. But that's the journey, right? And I don't think it'd be worth it. Like, imagine living in the same box that you've always lived in. Imagine feeling as though you have to go to the gym in the morning. Imagine feeling as though you have to go to work. My friend, you are the creator of your life. And the minute that you understand that, that's the minute it all changes. That's the minute it all changes. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is tough. Like it's work, right? But it's also your life. It's an art piece. There's highs and lows, peaks and troughs, deep valleys, high summits, inhales and exhales. But the beauty is in being able to respond to your life and sit in the driver's seat instead of being on autopilot. Imagine being on autopilot for the rest of your life, thinking that you have to get up and do this, that you have to go and do that. When you truly allow life to be what it's meant to be, you know, happiness, I know, is our natural state. We're meant to be vibrant. We're meant to be healthy. We're meant to be happy. We're meant to be fulfilled. And it's on you. It's your choice. So Basecamp, my friends, is a 6-month journey into everything that I think I've just been chatting about. Not sure where I went there, but it's a 6-month journey. And the cool thing is that part of Basecamp is we've booked a villa. And for 6 days, you'll be immersed in Bali, in Uluwatu, in this really sick villa with a little bit of yoga, some deep transformational work. I'm not going to sugarcoat that as well. It's not a retreat. It's deep work, and we get to enjoy the fruits as well. There'll be amazing dinners around the table, swims in the ocean, surfing, and deep transformational work, emotional regulation and integration, work on the nervous system so that you can literally step out of that space, step out of that time in Bali, which, by the way, is in May 2026, and move in to the next chapter of your life with just this completely shifted paradigm on what's possible for your world. Whether, you know, you're a creator wanting to start your own business, whether you currently have your own business and right now you're just burnt out, you're in survival mode. Guys, I cannot tell you enough how important it is to really start to begin to take ownership for the trajectory of your life. When you do this and you step in and you become a master at riding the waves, riding the highs and lows, being totally okay in the depths, but also allowing the beauty of the summit. This is when life begins to become a piece of art. So I feel that's all I wanted to share with you guys today, but thank you so much for being here. If you're someone who is interested in Basecamp, then let's start a conversation. It is by application only, and it's not for everyone. And I don't just say that, it truly isn't for everyone. But if what I've spoken about today resonates with you and you're like, yeah, you know what? This is it. Let's go. I'm not here to hold your hand, but this is an environment for growth. So if you're ready, let's start a conversation. You can jump onto my link tree that's in my Instagram, or I'll throw it down in the notes here, but let's start a conversation. It can just be a chat, literally just a catch up. I'm having coffee with people at the moment. I want to move off this just DMing back and forth and this social media relationship. It's nah, bro, come and have a cup of cacao with me. Come and have a coffee with me. Come for a walk. Let's actually connect, because this is where the healing happens. This is where growth happens, when we can be in the flesh together and life gets to be like that. Let's bring it back. Let's bring a phone call back. Let's bring a handshake back. Let's bring a hug back. We need this touch. We need this connection. And that's where it starts. I guess if you're going to come along with Basecamp, we're going to be mates. So anyway, that's all for today. Sending you so much love. Thanks for coming along for the journey. See you next time.